everyone, my name is Sarah, I am one half of the YA room, and today I'm going to be talking all about music in books. I don't know about you, but I love it when protagonists have unique hobbies. I feel like giving hobbies to protagonists make them really well-rounded, three-dimensional people that I just can't help but love. Some of the most well-known characters in YA have really distinctive and iconic hobbies. Think about Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games, she loves archery. Think about Ron and his chess. Clary Frey from City of Bones loves drawing. And one of my personal favorites, Rai Maresh from A Darker Shade of Magic, loves throwing parties. But this video about music and hobbies in YA was inspired by 1,000 Perfect Notes by Kate Drews, aka Paper Fury. If you don't know, 1,000 Perfect Notes is Kate's debut YA novel. It's about music and obsession and tough family relationships, and it is one of the best books I have read this year. As one of the major themes in 1,000 Perfect Notes is music, today I'm going to share some other YA novels with you that have music incorporated in them. And then this video is going to end with my review of Kate's 1,000 Perfect Notes. Make sure you stick around because I adored this one, and you need to hear all about it so you can add this one to your TBR too. Let's do this. The first book I'm recommending is I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. This is Alice's latest release. It is such a phenomenal book, and it was chosen as our May Book of the Month here at the YA Room. I Was Born for This is a book about fandoms and music and a boy band, and it is just so good. This book follows the life of Angel, who is one of the most dedicated and most passionate fans of this boy band called The Ark. She is obsessed with him. It is basically her life, and yeah, she just loves their music and loves the boys in the band. The Ark has given Angel her best friend Juliet, her dreams, and she's been able to find her place in the world. This book also follows the life of Jimmy, who is the Ark's front man. He's always dreamed of being in a boy band, but sometimes it turns out that dreams aren't what you expect them to be. And then one day, Jimmy and Angel are unexpectedly thrust together, and it is just so good. This book has mental illness representation as well as queer characters, and it's just so beautifully written. It's so heartwarming, and it is one of my favorite books of 2018. Make sure you check this one out. The next book I have to share with you, I'm sure you will have heard about it already, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, and that book is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. If you don't already know, Leah on the Offbeat is the second book in the Simon vs. the Homo sapiens gender universe. It follows the life of one of the characters from the first book called Leah. Leah is one of Simon's best friends. She is a drummer, and this book is all about her bisexuality. I love this book more than I can explain. It is just such a gorgeous, heartwarming novel. I always love seeing queer representation, but it was so moving to see this in Leah, especially seeing as the movie had only come out a few months ago. It was great to jump back into the Simon world and just have another little adventure with all these characters. It was just so much fun, and I love this book to pieces. Please make sure you pick this one up if you haven't already. And last but not least is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. If you know me at all, you will know that I never fail to mention Queen V in one of my videos, so I just had to mention her today. This Savage Song is one of my absolute favorite novels, and it's all about monstrosity and what it means to be human. I also love the way music played a major role in this narrative, because this character called August harvests souls by playing his violin. He steals the souls of murderers and consumes them, and that's how he stays alive. This book is so unlike anything I've ever read before. It questions what it means to be human, and it's just such a powerful, brilliant novel. I know that V.E. Schwab is most well known for her Darker Shade of Magic series, and rightfully so, but This Savage Song is one of my favorites as well. I love it to pieces. August is adorable, and this book is my life. So make sure you pick it up if you haven't already. But now, as promised, I'm going to be talking more about Kate's novel, which is 1,000 Perfect Notes. Honestly, I cannot get enough of this book. It is just so beautiful and so heart-wrenching, and it's everything I wanted and more. Kate is such a phenomenal writer. I was just enveloped in her world, and I loved getting to know her characters, and she made me cry more times than I care to have mentioned. This book is honestly one of my favorite books of 2018, maybe of all time. It was just so good. If you don't know, this story follows the life of Beck, who is a pianist, and he is forced by his mother to play the piano hour after hour, day after day, and she's never satisfied with him. He has music within him, but he can never express that because he's forced to play the pieces that she wants him to play and to somehow live up to her impossible standards. His mother was affected by an illness when she was a pianist, and she never got to have her fulfilling career. So Beck is forced to take her place and do what she couldn't do, but she's never satisfied with him and she just controls him, and that was really heartbreaking to see. But then Beck meets this girl called August and things kind of change from there. Their friendship was really adorable. I loved seeing them get to know one another. August just brightened up Beck's life, and that was really, really great to see. But that is all I'm going to share for the non-spoilery section, so if you don't want any more details about this book, that is it. I urge you to go and add a copy to your wish list or a pre-order copy. Make sure you buy it when it's out, all of that good stuff, and I just cannot wait for you to share your thoughts with me because I absolutely adored it, and I'm sure you will too. Bye non-spoilery people! Hello again, people who don't mind being spoiled or people that have read this amazing book. First of all, did this book break you the way it broke me? When I was reading this book, I'm like, I need a lot of chocolate to deal with all of these emotions, just suppress the hurt and the fear that I have for Beck with chocolate. Relatable. But on the topic of chocolate, yes, those food references, the mentions of cake and chocolate, oh yes, I loved it so much. And did we expect any less from CAIT? She's the queen of food. When August took Beck to that cafe, my heart was exploding. That was the cutest thing I've ever read, seeing him love cake that much because he was so deprived of it his whole life, and it was just so cute. I loved it to pieces. Beck is just an adorable little cinnamon roll. Am I right? While we're on the topic of happy things, the relationship between Beck and August was just adorable. I know there had been some people who were a little concerned to see whether Beck and August's relationship kind of cured Beck and cured the situation, and I knew that CAIT would never write something like that. So of course I was really pleased to see that my suspicions had been confirmed, and it was nothing like the original blurb had suggested. Instead, these two begin as not really friends, but they eventually get there, which was really great to see that journey, and especially seeing the way that August interacted with Beck's younger sister Joey. Beck's sister Joey was just so adorable. Their relationship was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I felt like it was really important for Beck to have a close relationship with his sister, seeing as he doesn't have that with his mother, and I feel like that added so much to the story. As well as getting to see those cute scenes like them at the park, we also got to see the way that his mother could affect Beck's sister. That was one of the most scary aspects of this story to me. The idea that his mother could do the same thing to Joey as she did to him, that was terrifying. And especially at the end we got to see more of that, and when Joey was crying at the piano, my heart was breaking. Oh my gosh, that was hard to read. And then also when his mother was talking about breaking his fingers, I couldn't even. That is I just can't even. I was so shook. There was times when I actually had to put this book down because it was just so emotional and so heavy, and just this book, the way CAIT made me feel all the emotions, how dare she? But also I love her for that, so forgiven. But I'm also really pleased with the ending. I'm pleased that he eventually stood up to her. It was a really dramatic finale, and that low-key traumatized me, but I'm pleased he's okay. I just want to protect him with all of my heart. I was really worried about how Jan would turn out for a moment, if he would be exactly like his sister, the maestro. That was scary. And when Beck was lost in his own world at the piano and he literally bled over the keys, that was such a powerful image. Oh, not to even mention when he was at the contest and he decided to play his own music and he got disqualified. I was done. That is it. I felt so bad for Beck, and he was 15 in this novel, which is super young, and just seeing the way that he had such a toxic relationship with his mother, that killed me. And even that first line in the book, what he wants most in the world is to cut off his own hands. That recurring metaphor about cutting off his hands and being free of the music, that was really, really well done, but at the same time, it was low-key very disturbing. There are just so many things I want to talk about in this book, but at the same time, like, I don't even know where to begin. I've barely scratched the surface with how much I love this novel, and I'm actually just gonna go reread it so I can make sure my darling Beck is alright, because I have to check on him and have my heart ripped out all over again. So yeah, those are basically all of my thoughts on CAIT, 1,000 Perfect Notes. I absolutely adored it, if you cannot tell. And if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, please make sure you do. I just cannot recommend this book highly enough. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some more recommendations for books with music in them. And if you have any more suggestions, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you're planning on picking up CAIT's novel, 1,000 Perfect Notes, please let me know. And if you've read it, let's gush about it together, because I need to let these feelings out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye everyone!